How I overcame my addictions and finally stopped smoking. Let's go. So, this is my second video on this channel. My name is Khonse Nonyana, and this video is kind of dark, man. it's kind of a depressing video, though. It's a, it's a depressing topic, that I should say. Okay, so here's how my story started. In the 9th grade, got introduced to. In fact, let me tell you all my story, because in the NoFap video, I just gave you all some parts of myself and stuff like that. Today, I'm gonna tell you about myself, who is Khonse Nonyana. So, my name is Khonse Nonyana. Should be Khonse Ramahuma, but I use my mom's surname. So, born in the year 2007, 5th of June. Why am I telling you this? Because I wanna give you all bit, not so much a summary, but give you all some context about my life before I can go further with some of my videos. Just want to tell you about myself, how I got to where I am today, and the whole process in between. So, hope you like this video and hope you find it valuable and worth your time. So, let's get into the video. So, as I've stated, my name is Khonse Nonyana. Let me do this. I'm trying to do my videos in this like unedited and scripted stuff, where I just like not necessarily unscripted, because I know what I'm gonna be talking about. But as of now, I'm gonna be telling you all about my life, basically my story. Started in 2007, the 5th of June. The son of Buseng Ramahuma and Nora Nonyana. What started off at the time, I never really. It was the normal relationship of maybe. It was the standard relationship of father going to work, mother sometimes. At the time, my mother was not going to work. Father was a provider and stuff like that. Cool family to be around. I remember we'd move from place to place. We'd move from Oliphant. Sometimes we'd stay at Clayville. Sometimes we'd sleep at hotels, stuff like that. At the time, I thought it was cool because I was young. Then growing up, that's when it all started. I think it was in the 3rd or 2nd grade. But way before that, I remember there was this instant, I still remember, because my mother tells me that at the time I was about three or I don't remember what she says, but was something below 4 years old. She says I was around that age, and she was shocked when I told her that I still remember it vividly. That day we were on the side of the railway going in my father's car. At that time, I remember there was yelling and stuff like that. All of a sudden, my father took out a pair of pliers. I remember him, I don't know what he did to my mom's hand, but I remember her screaming. Then he broke her phone and threw it on the side of the road. So, after that, I remember my father leaving her, he kicked her out of the car, something like that. At the time, I was young, because it was my first time seeing something like this. Terrified, basically. Seeing the two people that I love fighting each other, screaming at each other, and seeing my mom in that state, because at the time she was crying. I remember just looking at her, feeling vulnerable, because at the time, like I said, I was 2 or 3 years old. They didn't know what to do at the time. I just stood there frozen, looking at her as the car drove away. I was just looking what's going on, looking at the whole situation. Looked at my brother, it was the same thing. He was shocked, because he's 2 years older than me, so not that old, but he was shocked as well. So the car drove away, went to a place. I remember like went to a place, fun place, something like that. Then that instant, second instant came. This time we were about to go to school. Transport had just arrived. No, it was in the morning though. Don't remember what the argument was about on that day particularly because I was in the fourth grade. But I remember there being some verbal altercation between the two. All of a sudden, my mother was on the floor, father kicking her, stuff like that, slapping her basically. At the time, like I remember like one thing, my mother like from when I was young, she always like she never really had hair. And then at the time where I got older, I ended up asking her like, why don't you have hair? She then proceeded to tell me that wait. She then explained to me that my father and her once got in an argument when she was pregnant with me, and like my dad pulled all her hair off. Like it was that serious? Like he pulled her hair like from her roots. Like she can't grow hair anymore. Like she cannot at all. Like she cannot grow hair. So yeah, man. Like could have led to a miscarriage, something like that. But luckily it didn't. So we have got to thank for that. So as I was saying before, okay, so it was that time. I remember going to school on that day. It was a quiet day at that time because I was normally the loud kid, things like that. But on that day, I particularly remember like being quiet like the entire day. So my brother at school, he was in the same mood, not loud, not yelling and stuff like that. Then about us, like I remember like from a young age, because from when I was still in like crash, like in daycare, don't remember how old I was at the time. I remember like that dude hitting me like, and when I say hitting me like, that's not the type of parent. That's just like slap on the wrist, stuff like that. Nah, that man goes aggressive. I remember when I was still in daycare. What do you all call it? Kindergarten. Like I was young at the time. Like I remember like I tried ironing my backpack, but then I bent it. Like it was a plastic backpack. Sure, yeah, like I know what y'all will be saying. Nah, you acting like a victim. What were you do? But guys, at the time, I was in kindergarten. Like I was young. Bear in mind, like you be there like 4 to 5 years. You are there. Like it was in when I was 4 or 5 years old. That's when it happened. And my backpack. When he got home, he left me because I remember going to sleep in my grandma's room because I knew if he found out, all hell would break loose. So I slept in my grandma's room. Sorry about that, like some noise outside. But yeah, as I was saying, the dude who, like, he was waiting there, like, till I woke up. I remember him, like, I remember it vividly, dog. As I woke up from my grandma's bed, like, she was out of the bed. Woke up, looked to see. My father was on the side of the bed, like, his hands were like this. Let me do this real quick. His hands were like this behind his back. His hands behind his back. Greeted him, morning dad, stuff like that. He asked what happened to your school bag. I was trying to iron it out. He took out his belt, man, like whooped, whooped the hell out of me that day, dog. That's when it all started, like, cause from then on, I just remember my months filled with whooping and whooping and whooping. Got to a point where like I was terrified of the man because like me and my brother like we were scared of that guy, dog. Like, to this day, like I even tell people that to this day I cannot even sit and tell jokes with them because like there's still that thing of like, hey, this is the guy who used to do this to me, stuff like that. So now, like, although I'm old, not saying that I can fight him, not saying I would fight him, but although I'm old, there's still that perception of him as that guy like that used to don't want to say bully me, but that guy that used to hit me and stuff like that. So again, I know that you all are gonna say, yeah, it's black love, tough love, stuff like that. But the thing is, what you all don't realize is that no children, no child likes their parents even more after being hit. Violence only creates hatred. If you all think that by whooping someone, that's how you show them that you love them, you have the wrong perception of love. If you have to beat someone up to convey how you feel or to make them conform to your own beliefs, you're not an adult. Because that's like a kid. What does a kid do when they feel unheard or something like that? They feel unheard or unnoticed. They throw a tantrum, yell, shout, maybe hit someone. If maybe children are there, they hit each other, stuff like that. Imagine being an adult and not being able to convey what you want to say to someone. And your only way of doing that is to use excessive violence. What kind of person are you? Because I remember at the time going to school with like belt marks on my back. And I'd hear the stories, like there'd be dumb stories of them telling me like, yeah, our parents used to whip us, stuff like that, because my parents would tell me the same thing. But look at those people. Look at those people. My mom, unemployed, living in her mom's house. Where I'm at right now. I'm living in my grandma's house. My dad, same thing, living in his mom's house. Living in his grandma's house, even worse. My uncle, living in his mom's house. My dad's little brother, also living in, you guessed it, my grandma's house. So, if the strategy that they're advocating for, the strategy of raising the strategy of raising children by whooping them, technically didn't work for them, why continue the cycle? Let's just look at that for a bit. If there are a group of participants, let's say maybe the group of participants smoked cigarettes and stuff like that. They smoked cigarettes. I should stop saying stuff like that. They smoked cigarettes and then went to play a match. Then the group that smoked cigarettes lost the match, but the group that didn't smoke the cigarettes won the match. So I ask you, what logic would there be in continuing to smoke cigarettes if you know that it leads in you guys not winning the match? Look at the people who would normally tell you that their parents whoop them, their parents hit them. Look at them. Then look at the wealthy people, the people who are doing good in life. And I'm not saying that there are no people who used to be abused who are not doing good. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the people who used to be abused have it much harder than those who were never abused. Because those ones grew up with love, care. They were